Welcome to the Hoops Culture Podcast. We talk about all things basketball. We got our famous special guest back, and
Let's go.
not a special guest anymore. He's an official associate.
Yeah, I'm happy to be back. Happy to be back. I told you last time it wouldn't be my last time, and me and Nelson made sure to make it a quick return.
Yes, sir. So we're gonna get into this real quick. I got a little cool topic we're doing today. Um, it's a pretty common topic around just basketball community in general. But it's something really interesting because we're not just doing the top 10. We put in 15 guys, and it was because top 10 was a lot harder to narrow down. But 15 is going to be fun, and there's a lot of funny storylines around these guys.
And let me mention, I didn't make this list. This is all Alton's list, so
Yeah,
I'm gonna be reacting from the same point of view you guys
yeah.
are. So
So we're gonna have
I'm not
some
gonna agree with
arguments, but
everything.
it'll be good. All right,
Yeah.
let's get into number 15. 15 is Sam Bowie, second overall pick in the 1984 draft. He averaged 11 points, 8 rebounds, 2.1 assists, and the guys drafted after him, man, Charles Barkley, John Stockton, and the guy who was drafted right after him, Michael Jordan.
Yeah, I mean, if you get picked before Michael Jordan, unless you are in the Hall of Fame, you're a bust automatically.
Yeah, and just the fact that he really did nothing for those Blazers teams. Like he never really did anything for Clyde. Didn't
I
help
mean,
him
that's
win.
like one of the best. That's one of the best, if not, that's arguably the best draft class of all time.
Yeah,
You got the GOAT still available on the board, Michael Jordan, the man who hit one of the clutchest NCAA shots of all time, and
yeah,
they decided to pick my man Sam over Mike. And
yeah.
I mean, the Rockets they
They
got
picked Hakeem.
Hakeem,
Yeah,
they got a ring out of it. So even though they missed out on Jordan, they can't be upset.
yeah. They got two. They got two. And
They
Hakeem's a legend. Hakeem's top 10 all
Yeah,
time.
no, exactly. That is the that is the type of that is the type of realm you have to be in to be considered not a. And even Hakeem, I'm pretty sure they still wish they took Jordan, but they
Yeah,
are okay with. He's not. He's definitely far from a bust. But
yeah,
anything less than multiple time All Star and Michael Jordan, Charles Barkley are after you.
yeah.
Yeah, you're an automatic
And it's
bust.
the one
I
thing
might have
about
had him higher than 15. Honestly,
no,
he's
I'm not kind of really for the for the 10. I'm not really ranking them, but the top five is 100% ranked.
okay. So his top five is going to be mostly ranked, and then after 10, yeah, because he's a historic one because there's only two people drafted before Jordan, and
Yeah,
one of them is a Hall of Famer and one of them is not.
yeah.
So
Like the
he's
fact
going to be in history
he
forever.
wasn't a bad player whatsoever. It's not like he couldn't play
Yeah.
like 1 point per game, that type of player. Like he could get minutes, but the fact that you missed out on Michael Jordan, Charles
His
Barkley,
name
and
definitely
John
didn't make
Stockton.
sense on that draft board
Yeah.
compared to the other names.
And there's a funny story about the Blazers. There was this one guy who worked with Trailblazers, and he told him, he said, "You better pick up Michael Jordan with the second overall pick." And they were like, "No, we have our eyes set on Sam Bowie since he's a center, and and we need rebounders." And the guy said, "Michael Jordan will do all of that for you," and they still didn't pick him up.
Yeah, well, yeah, I
That's
guess they
embarrassing.
deserved it. They
They,
deserved it.
yeah, I mean, the
They didn't.
Blazers,
If they couldn't read it, they don't deserve him.
they haven't had some draft luck for a little while,
Yeah.
so that's just unfortunate. We're gonna head right into 14.
Yeah.
I think one of kind of the more underrated draft busts. Like nobody really talks about it as much, but he was terrible. Thomas Robinson, fifth overall pick in the 2012 draft. His averages were 4.9 points, 4.8 rebounds, and zero point 0.0 assists. He was not
Yeah.
good. The guys drafted after, you can name everybody drafted after, and they would have been a good pick, but I'll name a few. Damian Lillard, Andre Drummond, Harrison Barnes, Jeremy Lamb, Evan Fournier, Draymond Green, and Chris Middleton.
Yeah, that's a lot of all stars.
Yeah,
That's a lot of all stars,
yeah,
and
and not to
under
mention,
5 points a game. I mean,
yeah,
under 5 points a game, and you were a lottery pick.
yeah,
You deserve the title.
and
You
not to
deserve the title.
mention that the team gave up on him halfway through the season and they traded him.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure the team. I mean, when you play for a team and they give up on you, that's probably the true sign that you don't have the talent.
Yeah,
Because other teams could see different versions of you, but the guys that see you at practice every day, the
yeah.
guys that really see your true skill, if they don't believe in you, then you just might not. The NBA is a very very finite group of people, so it's competitive. So if you don't have it, they're gonna tell you immediately. I
Yeah, I
feel
mean,
like
Sacramento is one team that really just drafts bad, like they did with Thomas Robinson this year. Um,
yeah.
they traded him. They really just gave up on him and traded him right to Houston.
Yeah, they. I mean, teams like that have been. If you're at the bottom for as long as they have, because they haven't really been like a true contender in so long. They've had year after year of. I mean, Fox was probably their best draft.
Yeah. De'Aaron
I said
Fox.
DeAndre, De'Aaron. I said DeAndre. De'Aaron Fox is probably their best. I mean, but they couldn't pass up on him when he was on the board.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
don't think anybody who turned on a Kentucky game would ever say, "Yeah, I'm gonna pass up on him."
Yeah, for
But
sure.
other than that, that's as good as their luck has gotten.
Yeah, I mean, just the fact that like your own team gave up on you after 1 year is pretty sad because with lottery picks you'll see them kind of give up on you after the fourth year. One, not even a year actually, a half a year. It's pretty.
Yeah, I mean that they just saw him in the locker room and they were like, "Yeah, this guy's
Yeah,
not.
and
He's not taking us
you miss
anywhere."
out on Damian Lillard. You could have paired him up with Cousins.
Yeah,
It's pretty embarrassing. But we're gonna go into number 13. This pick haunts us as we're both Knicks fans. Like haunts us really bad. The ninth overall pick in 2018, Kevin Knox.
Kevin Knox. See, having Kevin Knox up there in an all-time draft bust, I'm gonna let you explain your take on that
All right,
because you have an argument, but let's hear it.
all right. Look, as soon as he got to New York and he played and he had one good summer league game, what was everybody saying? Kevin Knox rookie of the year. Kevin Knox,
Kevin Knox.
he's the new Kevin Durant. He could score the
Yes.
ball easy. Oh, this was the perfect pick for New York. This and that. His first year wasn't bad. I'm not gonna lie, his first year wasn't bad. He didn't play terrible. What happened the next year? Like, and the year
Yeah, he
after
didn't.
that, he just
He
has he plays with no sense of urgency, like where he'll just go up for a shot and doesn't care if it goes in or misses.
he doesn't seem to have. He doesn't have the motor.
Yeah,
He doesn't have a high end motor. And the thing about Kevin Knox, truthfully, is that like everybody, especially because I had that same kind of sense of hope. Because remember when we drafted Porzingis,
yeah,
and everybody was like, "This guy has more potential than anybody," but we don't know if it's going to work
yeah,
out.
yeah,
And then all that doubt kind of turned into, "Oh, we were wrong." I
yeah,
feel like Kevin Knox was kind of riding off that same wave
yeah,
of New Yorkers were like, well, look what happened with Porzingis. We doubted him, but that
yeah.
potential seemed to
Because
be worth
one of
something.
the thing was that well, Mello had left. We needed a star forward.
Yeah, we
Um,
need somebody to score, and he seems like honestly like what the NBA is moving towards:
yeah.
tall, shoot the ball, like a Michael Porter Jr. type situation.
Let's talk about the guys drafted after before we go into any of that. So we missed out on Mikal Bridges, Shea Gilgis Alexander, Miles Bridges, Michael
Shaking my
Porter
head,
Jr., Dante
shaking my head,
DiVincenzo, and Kevin
shaking my.
Herter. And Michael Porter Jr. was actually someone the Knicks wanted to draft at first.
That's who I feel like was the better version of the two. It's just that
Yeah, he had the
Michael
whole
Porter Jr.
back
was going through
problems.
the
Yeah,
whole injury thing,
but
but Kevin Knox is not the healthiest person either, though.
and you could have picked up Mikal Bridges and knew what you were getting out of him.
Yeah, I I feel like yeah,
Or
they
you could
really
have
could
picked
have.
up SGA as the Knicks do like Kentucky players. Picked up Shea Gilgis Alexander and I mean
That's what my pops and I really wanted to see.
yeah I was a really big fan of him and like
'Cause
Mikal
they
Bridges
need
when
to
he came up.
draft some guy. I'm not going to get too derailed. We need to move on, but the Knicks need to draft some high level ball handlers. They
for
need to
sure.
stop drafting. They need to stop drafting these 6'8" and above finishers, and they need to get some people who can handle the ball.
Yeah, I
Frank
mean,
Ntilikina is not a true point. We need a true point guard. We need a playmaker. But
well, now we got well, obviously we have Kemba Walker. Emmanuel quickly is looking like he's going to pan out to be a great scorer.
yeah, no, and that I'm happy that we're starting to kind of move into this direction. And
A winning
um,
direction, which we love to see, honestly.
yeah, and this pickup of Kemba was a great pickup.
Yeah, eight
I'm not
million
gonna lie.
dollars a year.
And
It's a straight
that's who
bargain.
he kind of fulfilled because I've been this with this plea for the longest time with the Knicks, and when they picked him up, I was like, okay, that's a really good first step. He's
Yeah,
not he's not the all he's not the pick and roll ball handler we really need.
but he's a guy who could just get
He's
us a
another
bucket.
guy though who's going to help. Yeah, he's a good second option to that guy, but we still need to find that guy.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah. Before anything, we go on to the next pick. Yeah, excited for the Knicks next year. Hopefully they make the playoffs again. But anyways, we're gonna go into number 12. This is an interesting one. A lot of people do forget about him as well. We got Evan Turner, second overall pick in the 2010 draft. 9.7 points, 4.6 rebounds, 3.5 assists. Guys drafted after, some notable ones. DeMarcus Cousins, Paul George, Gordon Hayward, and Eric Bledsoe. All guys who would have been better picks, for
Way
sure.
better picks,
Way
especially
better.
for that. Especially for all the teams Evan Turner played. Yeah, he just offensively he's just not.
Yeah, he was just a guy who had a really high IQ for the game of basketball, but just couldn't put skill together, in my opinion.
He didn't have. Yeah, he didn't have. You kind of need a superpower in the NBA. You need to be exceptional at one thing or the other. And
Yeah,
offensively, he just didn't have that. He wasn't an exceptional ball
yeah.
handler. Wasn't an exceptional shooter, finisher. He was just. He was. He was
He was
not what
just
you would
so
want in that high of a
average.
pick.
So
Yeah, he was. He
average.
was the definition of average. He was
Like,
about as mediocre as you could get, as middle of the road NBA wise. How tall was he?
he was pretty tall. I mean, sometimes they played him at point guard, but I believe he was like 6'7".
Yeah, exactly. Literally, the NBA average is 6'7". He was like the NBA average height. He was.
Yeah. Six
He was.
seven on the dot. And
He
we share the same birthday. Sheesh.
yeah. He's as middle as he is at like. If you say give me the average NBA player, you would say him.
Yeah, because well, when later on in his career, he actually like developed himself into a really good bench player. But like then again,
Yeah, because
yeah,
he's a
that
good
works. But he
2-3.
was a second overall pick.
That's what I mean, though. He is a top three pick. Like when you're in that, you do. He doesn't have any star talent about him to earn
Yeah,
that
for
high
sure,
of a pick.
for sure. Yeah, I mean, the fact that you missed out on Paul George, Marcus Cousins, Gordon Hayward, and these were guys that could have really like helped Philadelphia.
Yeah, imagine Paul George playing with Philadelphia.
Yeah, I mean the process would look a lot different.
Yeah, 100%,
Yeah,
100%,
re-
100%. Because Philadelphia definitely had their fair turns at like throwing. They had quite a few top three picks.
a lot, like a lot,
they
for real,
had
a
they
lot.
had they had great lottery luck.
Yeah,
So
I
their
mean
great lottery luck. I mean, they kind of hit with
they hit
what
on
they did hit with
they
Joel Embiid.
realistically hit on two picks, and the other picks were just like not good.
Yeah, Mark, you because I'm not even gonna say the other. You said you didn't put Markel Fultz in it because of injury, but
Yeah, before anything, Marco Fultz, Greg Oden will not be on the list. One, Marco Fultz is injury prone, and he actually hasn't played bad when he does play. Um, Greg Oden, unfortunately, like I can't put him on the list. It's really unfortunate what happened to him, man.
yeah, Greg Oden. I
Because
mean,
the year he
but,
did have like almost the full season, and he was on minutes restriction. He was averaging like like 10 and 10 on minutes restriction.
yeah, he had the talent. Like the the scouting on him wasn't wrong. So
Yeah, it was just the injuries that really just
there's
derailed
certain
his
things we just
career.
can't control.
Yeah.
Yeah, get
Um.
to the next one.
Yeah. Next, number 11. A lot of you probably forgot about this guy, and it's only been 2 years. Jarrett Culver, Six overall in 2019 to the Minnesota Timberwolves. 7.8 points per game, 3.1 rebounds, 0.7 assists. Notable guys drafted after. You got Tyler Hero, Rui Hachimura, Nikhil Alexander Walker, Kelvin Johnson, Kevin Porter Jr., and PJ Washington. All better picks. Would have probably suited Minnesota a lot better.
Yeah, I would have liked to see Kevin Porter Jr. there.
Yeah, I mean, man, Jared Culver was such a miss because
Yeah,
he was one of the guys who was apparently NBA ready, which he
see,
clearly was not.
you see, like with draft, I feel like there's like a yin yang effect with everything when you look at things, right? So I
Yeah,
feel like when you look at draft prospects, the yin yang is kind of all the way on one side you have NBA ready, and the other side you have raw talent, right?
yeah,
So like you could say we because previous on the list we had some guys who were just like the Knicks with Kevin. He's pure talent.
yeah,
And then when you have guys like, but he's not really NBA ready as far as like refined mindset and all these things.
yeah,
When
for
you go
sure.
too far on the other side of the spectrum, sometimes like we just find guys who were able to find their niche in their niche in the NCAA, but then once they get to the NBA, the stats are going to show you they're never going to score more than 15 points a game.
Yeah, I mean, it was just really interesting to see how these guys like especially just Culver because man, he played in the championship game, college
Yeah,
championship game.
I know, but he just his skill set didn't his skill set was NBA ready in college, but then once he got to the NBA, it
Yeah,
didn't go up another like even if you felt like he was NBA ready in college, then once he got to the NBA, he wasn't going to then like boost to like superstar. He was what he was.
yeah, just I mean, I don't think he'll ever average close to 10 points ever in his career.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, his NBA career is definitely not what it was projected to be.
And I mean, this last year because he got traded from Minnesota. This last year with this year with Minnesota might be his last. If he doesn't perform, he's out of the league, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like he's really on the fence. Like getting another NBA contract is definitely,
Yeah, and guys I think like Tyler Hero, Rui Hachimura would have fit perfect with Cat. You know,
yeah, he would have.
yeah. I mean, it's really just terrible. But we're gonna head right into the top 10. We got
Yeah, top 10.
interesting one right here. Josh Jackson.
Josh Jackson, another one. Now he's the guy that I didn't think was gonna
Yeah,
be on this
I
list ever.
well, I'll give my reasoning, but I'll tell you more about his fourth overall pick to Phoenix Suns in 2017. 12.3 points per game, 4.1 rebounds, 2.3 assists. Guys drafted after you got De'Aaron Fox, Jonathan Isaac, Donovan Mitchell, Bam Adebayo, John Collins, and Jared Allen. Um,
This I forgot that draft class was kind of
it was stacked. I'm not gonna lie, that was a juice class. But
yeah, it was kind of hefty. I didn't even realize, but yeah, he was definitely.
the
It's sad because when you
expectations.
look at all those other prospects, like I really put him in the same boat as all of them,
My
as like
thing,
a Donovan Mitchell.
yeah,
But I, it's sad to see what
like
happened.
look, the expectations were way too high for him. Everybody
Yeah,
was saying
that's
Jimmy
why.
Butler, Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah, he was
Um,
really supposed to be like an elite wing player, like
yeah,
an elite perimeter player.
and he clearly just was not elite whatsoever. He First of all he was a chuck. He shot the ball a lot,
Yeah, he was a volume
and
shooter.
his defense wasn't as good as advertised. It was just like so like subpar, and Phoenix just gave up on him. Honestly,
Yeah, they didn't have any time for that. They were trying to win. They were trying to win.
yeah, they were
They're
trying to
trying
they
to.
were trying to get immediate results like they did with D Book,
Yeah, exactly.
and it just clearly didn't work. Especially guys like De'Aaron Fox would have fit good with D Book as a point guard shooting guard duo. Especially
And
since
people have to understand when you're drafted fourth in the NBA, like not only are the expectations from the media, we're talking about expectations just in the locker room. We're talking about him being a check and all that stuff. You're drafted fourth. Like this team has the fourth NBA. Like use their top five pick on you. So they're gonna. So when you get into that locker room, when you're in practice, all these players are looking at you like, damn, this is the fourth pick.
Yeah,
Like
no
they're
doubt.
you're going to be expected to perform at a
Yeah,
higher level than like some of these guys who were playing NCAA basketball only months before aren't going to be able to go onto an NBA
yeah,
roster and then start performing at these levels. Like it takes a certain type of guy to have that type of expectation and to perform. So
yeah. Another thing about him was that he had character issues even in college. Um, he had they actually assigned him anger management classes,
yeah,
and the fact that he's gotten arrested a couple times in the league, which is like not very good to have, especially for your character and if
yeah,
you're
especially if
endorsed
you're
by
not a
someone.
star player, you can't be a role player causing ruckus like that.
Yeah, I mean
Yeah, so
it's just really selfish. But yeah, Josh Jackson, I believe he's one of the worst busts. I just like the expectations. That's my main thing with the bus. The expectations.
yeah, expectation versus reality and the difference between.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna get into number 9. Easily one of the ugliest looking jump shots I've ever seen in my life. 100%. Michael Kid Gilchrist, second overall in
Michael Kidd,
2012.
Michael Kidd Gilchrist. He
Eight.
played with Kyrie Irving back at St. Patrick's in high school. And let me tell you something. This guy in high school looked like a problem.
Yeah, he was like I was very young when it happened, but like I remember, like family members saying, "Oh, he's gonna be NBA ready, this and that." And he was not. He just wasn't good. His he got drafted to the I believe Charlotte Bobcats at the
Yeah.
time.
And then they were the Bobcats back when
Um,
they were a joke.
yeah, the guys they passed up on a couple guys we mentioned before with Thomas Robinson, but we got Bradley Beal, Damian Lillard, Andre Drummond, Barnes, Lamb, Fournier, Draymond Green, Chris Middleton, and man, Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan was actually going to pick Austin Rivers uh over Michael Kidd Gilchrist. That probably would have been a better pick.
I mean, it certainly would have been better. Wouldn't have been the best option, but definitely would have been better.
That's the sad part. He was just not good. He had
I
he
mean, I
had
feel like he
hustle.
was just like the epitome of that Bobcats like era. Like the
Yeah,
Bobcats was such a terrible name
terrible
team.
team.
They had like the worst record in like history one year, right?
Yeah, when they had a lockout season, they went 7-59. So like that's the worst win percentage.
Yeah,
And
like
the only positive thing was Kemba Walker. That's it. And
yeah,
Al
that's
Jefferson those couple of years.
yeah, but that team was really just like as a Knicks fan, I wouldn't even watch the Knicks games when they played them just because I didn't even enjoy. Like, I didn't even like seeing their jerseys on a basketball court.
Yeah, the
I
Bobcats
really
were
did not
very.
like the Bobcats. Like their like I would never go to one of their games. Like I didn't like anything about them, and he was just like he was just he just represented them too well for
Yeah,
my
I mean,
liking.
the guy's jump shot was hideous. Couldn't do anything besides play exceptional defense. He
Every
was,
time I see his name, I just think of him taking an ugly ass jump shot in an ugly ass uniform. Just
yeah.
looking at him like
I mean,
shaking my
Michael
head.
Jordan really fixed the team. Like he came a long way from what the now the Hornets are now.
Yeah, I
So
mean, first things first, he changed it from the Bobcats.
yeah, that was a big thing. Michael Kidd Gilchrist just was not good. Bradley Beal would have been a much better pick, way better.
Yeah, yeah,
And
but
yeah,
luckily we didn't have to deal with the torture of watching Bradley Beal highlights with a Bobcats jersey on.
yeah,
They saved us from that. We
yeah.
didn't have to watch many highlights.
Next, next pick. Oh, this is gonna be controversial right here. This is my opinion. We're gonna go with Andrew Wiggins, first overall pick in 2014. 19 points per game, 4.9 rebounds, 2.4 assists. Guys drafted after Joel Embiid, Julius Randle, Zach LaVine, Clint Capella, and Nikola Jokic.
Okay,
Uh,
well,
what
the
are your
drafted
thoughts? What are
after
your
he does
thoughts
have.
before everything? Before
I mean, He's not bad.
Yeah, but
Andrew
look,
Wiggins.
look.
Andrew Wiggins is not bad. 19 points a game in an NBA puts you in a certain
Okay, look,
criteria.
look. Do you understand how much hype Andrew Wiggins had? And
I
that,
do. I remember
bro,
this time because this is.
bro, Kobe Bryant comparisons, Kobe Bryant comparisons. You got to live up to that. He right now in 2020, 2021, 2022, he was supposed to be a top 3 player in the league
I mean,
around this
but
time.
I feel like though, like those comparisons aren't like okay. There's certain comparisons where you feel like it's a lock in, and there's certain comparisons where you feel like this is what he could be on
Bro,
his
he was
best
supposed to
day.
be one of the most.
People said Andrew Wiggins on his best day could be like if he really fills out his potential, he could have been an MVP caliber player, right?
Yeah.
Now he didn't live up to that, but he kind of like people said on his best day he could be that. If he's average or like he doesn't do anything ridiculous, he would be at about 20 points a game.
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
like
20 points per game. He's only about 6-7 points a game away from being in that top
but
echelon of
he's
NBA
nowhere
player.
near a first option. He was at least projected to be a first option. He's
Yeah, no,
damn near
okay,
third,
I do
fourth.
agree with you on that.
Like, look,
He
uh,
the hype he did have for him to not be a first option and the on really a credible first option on any NBA team. Would you want him to be the guy leading you to battle every night?
yeah. I mean, look, I in Minnesota, you kind of saw flashes, but this is what he does every season. He in October they start. He plays pretty good. November and December are his months. January, February, March, and April, he does nothing.
Yeah, he dies out.
He dies out. That's the whole thing. You get the flashes, and you're like, oh, you get excited for Wiggins because then he's like looking like he's gonna become a star. Then he just goes into being a mediocre player sometimes, and it's just like
I
I
just
just
like him. I like him now. Just I feel like he's such a good fit
yeah, he
with
fits
Golden
good,
State.
but that was not the expectations given to him. Nobody
I know.
really thought he was gonna
I
be
feel
like
like
a
once Golden State, I
yeah
feel like once Golden State starts to Clay comes back and they start having the talent and that winning culture out there, I feel like he's gonna fit good,
yeah.
man.
I think their team's gonna be really fun to watch. He's gonna be like a Harrison Barnes type player. I think
That is
possibly
who
even
he is. I
better.
feel like he's a Harrison Barnes. Like what Harrison Barnes was to that team, he's going to
Yeah,
be. I feel
he
like
could
he's
be better.
slightly. Yeah, I was gonna say he's probably a improved version,
Yeah, for sure.
but top 10 bust of all time. Would I put him in myself? Maybe not.
I
Would I put?
respect it. I respect it, but
Would I put him though? Would I? The question is, would you really calling him a bust? I don't know if that's a hot take or not.
I feel
It's
like I feel like it
no,
is
it's
because of
not.
just like the expect. Well, not really a hot take because he just didn't live up to the expectations.
Yeah, I guess that is what the definition of a bust. He was when you get picked. Yeah, you're right.
For sure.
You're right.
I mean, I
Okay.
respect your opinion for sure, but you know.
I can respect that. I can respect that. We can move from that.
All right. Next, this guy was just plain awful. He was just terrible.
No argument on this one.
This guy was just so bad. Dragon Bender, fourth overall pick in 2016. Phoenix missed on another pick back to back years. 5.4 points, 4 rebounds, 1.3. Bro, the guy just could not play. He was just terrible, bro. He was awful. Like guys drafted after anybody could have been a good pick, but you got Buddy Hield, Jamal Murray, Domantas Sabonis, Karis LeVert, Pascal Siakam, Malcolm Brogdon, DeJounte Murray. Bro, he was so bad. Like he didn't do anything good. He literally could do nothing on the court.
How tall was he?
Bro, he was 7'1". His whole thing was that he was going to be the next Kristaps Porzingis. He couldn't shoot. He couldn't rebound. He
Yeah,
couldn't
seven
stand right
foot.
next to the hoop and put the ball in.
Yeah, I mean, at 7 foot, it's hard. Cause like what? It's hard at 7 foot.
Bro, he
Because if
wasn't
you
even a
can't move,
presence.
just being tall in the NBA, like at 7'1", like the amount of leeway you have to get away with lack of skill in any level of basketball below the National Basketball Association is ridiculously high.
Yeah,
I mean, you could play in any other basketball league than the NBA at above 7 foot, and you won't really have to be very good.
yeah.
You would just the fact that you are that tall, you're going to be able to be a very impactful player.
Yeah.
But once you get into the NBA, and every team has a couple 7-footers that it's even for players that have all the talent in the world, it's hard for them to develop at that
Yeah.
height.
Man,
So
bro. The X he just couldn't do anything. He wasn't even a presence in the paint. People were just like going by him like he was nothing.
yeah,
He was like a traffic cone on defense. He was
yeah. There's
terrible.
nothing worse. There's nothing worse than a bad 7-footer.
Bro, he couldn't rebound, he couldn't block shots. He was just there taking up space. Like it's messed up to say but like bro, he was
Yeah,
terrible.
poor guy.
Like
Poor guy. Could
like
have got Pascal Siakam. Could have had
bro, you could have had Pascal Siakam, could have
Jamal
had
Murray.
Jamal Murray, Buddy Hield, Domantas Sabonis, who's a far better foreign player.
Well, the foreign big man seems attractive.
Yeah, I
Seven,
mean,
seven
because of the
foot.
point. The only reason he got drafted that high was because Kristaps Porzingis was amazing his first year.
Yeah, yeah. That everybody was like, oh, maybe these 7-footers from
Yeah,
across the Atlantic are not that bad.
yeah. It's the same thing they did with Larry Markkinen. Larry Markkinen's really like just a rotational guy right now.
Yeah, but I understand why they would take shots at these guys because
Yeah, I mean, but like it's like they wanted to win, but they didn't want to win with this pick.
yeah,
Yeah,
it was an experiment. It was sometimes you gotta go for it because you never know.
yeah,
You never know with 7-footers. That is sometimes. I mean, they were just hoping to get lucky. I don't know. I'm
yeah.
trying to defend them. I'm trying to give them the benefit of the
No, I'm
doubt.
not defending them. That pick was trash.
Yeah, let's just leave him in the past. Let's move
Yeah,
on.
he's in the past. He's not even in the league, but yeah, he's in the past. Couldn't score more than 7 points on that Warriors team in 2020, but it's in the past. Uh, next next player. You're a Duke fan. One of your one of
Duke
your
fan.
one of your
I'm a
Duke
big
boys
Duke
right here.
fan. I'm not a bandwagon. My parents were Duke fans. Grandparents were Duke fans. They might be bandwagons, but you have to bring that up with them.
Yeah, but we got Jahlil Okafor, third overall pick in 2015. 10 points, 4.7 rebounds, point five
Jahlil
assists.
Okafor.
Guys drafted after Porzingis, Miles Turner, Devin Booker, Kelly Oubre, Terry
So
Rozier, and Montrezl
now,
Harrell.
now I have a bone to pick with Jahlil Okafor because I seen him play in real life. I went to go see the Duke played in a tournament in a garden.
Yeah,
I forget what tournament,
I,
but
I remember. I remember what I know what you're talking about though.
yeah, I have a picture of me. I'm looking at it right now. A printed out picture of me there. But so Grayson Allen, that was a great Duke era,
Yeah.
and the little Okafor. Now I didn't think he was going to go into the league and be as bad as he was,
No,
but
well, my thing was with him was that the league when he got into the league, he got in at an awkward spot because he was a post player. His first year, he wasn't bad. I mean, 17 points. He was averaging 17 points his first year.
and that's that's really good for a rookie.
But the thing
Anybody,
was that one, the 76ers knew Joel Embiid was coming back,
yeah,
and they knew Jalil was not going to fit with Embiid.
yeah, you could one or the other.
So, but he got in at a really awkward spot because if he played maybe in the 2000s, he wouldn't be
Yeah,
that
like
bad.
5 year,
He wouldn't
yeah,
be that
like
bad. He would be a lot better than what he was in his career, but he was just not fit for this era. It really wasn't
yeah,
like,
because you can't move with other bigs. Like he,
and he
you can't
couldn't
really just put
rebound
it.
the
You can't,
ball.
huh?
He couldn't rebound.
Which that is what really kind of really spooked me out because I was like, this guy. People say, "Oh, the NBA is moving on. We don't have space for post players." We there always is space for a good big
Exactly.
man who can rebound the ball, play good interior defense, catch the ball in the post, and make a good play. There's
Yeah.
tons of There's
Like
tons of centers who do a great job in the NBA without having any offensive skill set.
like
So adding a post game to it won't hurt anybody.
one guy I feel like is a better version of Jalil Okafor, Montrezl Harrell, a guy who got drafted a little down. You know,
Yeah,
the
Montes.
guy could
Yeah,
play in the post. He's not the greatest 3-point shooter, but man, like, bro, he's pretty effective for his teams
and he's a little bit lighter on his feet.
for sure,
That
and he
that
could grab
that
rebounds.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, he can.
but
Yes, he can.
Okafor was just a disappointment
I had high
completely.
hopes for him. I thought he was going to be at least,
Look,
an 84 overall type play, like an 84 overall
yeah,
every year in
because
2K type.
everybody knew that Cat was going one for sure. Everybody knew Cat was going one. Two
That's
was
what
a
I mean.
little bit.
I felt like he was in the same. I looked at him in the same boat as Cat at
Yeah,
that time.
I
I
mean,
looked at him in the same boat.
everybody thought the Lakers were gonna take Okafor, but they like shook up everybody with taking Russell too.
Yeah, which
Didn't
good
work
for
out.
them.
Yeah, it did not work out for them.
Yeah,
But
but I
he's not a bad
mean,
player. He's just
he no. Well, I mean, it worked out for him definitely over it would have with him.
yeah. I
I don't
mean,
think Russell was a bad pick, really.
no, I just he just that team didn't fit his style. Like
Yeah, but I
they
don't.
shouldn't have
Yeah,
put the spotlight on him too early.
yeah. I mean, but LA was gonna. They were gonna like they can't not be LA. So whoever they drafted with that second overall pick would have had to deal with being the second overall pick
Yeah,
in LA. So that was inevitable. I don't think anybody would. I don't think Jalil Okafor would have maybe done. I mean, you never know.
yeah, but
You never
like
know.
Stephen A. Smith, an example we're gonna use a couple times today. He said in his tweets during the draft, "Hope hope the 76ers pass up on Okafor. I want him for the Knicks."
And the Knicks
Think
would
about
have
it.
picked him.
Yeah, they would have picked him. They probably definitely would have picked him.
If the Knicks would have had the second pick, they would have picked that man. They loved
100%.
them. The Knicks are still lost in the '90s.
I mean, what are you gonna do? It's our Knicks fan struggles.
I know the Knicks would have picked up Jalil Okafor. I can just. I don't know. I just know for
Yeah,
100%
because a
fact that
lot
would
of
have
people
been.
wanted the Knicks pick up Justice Winslow. I remember too.
Yes, I wanted him.
Yeah, I thought he was gonna be good, but
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, yeah.
Next, this is even funnier pick, like the context behind it.
What
John,
number are we at now on the list?
we're on five. I'm ranking the real bus right now.
So this is the top five.
Yeah, this is the real top five. This is where we really get into it.
Now I'm gonna be a little bit harsher with my judgment if I think it's a good placement.
Yeah. Johnny Flynn, number five, six overall
Johnny
pick in
Flynn.
2009, 9.2 points, 1.9 rebounds, 3.9 assists. The guys drafted after. Let's give some context before I say the first guy. Timberwolves have number five and number six. They picked Ricky Rubio with five. Nothing wrong with that. It was an overseas
Great pick.
player. Yeah, it was a great
Great
pick for
pick.
them because he played for a while.
Great pick. Ricky Rubio. I love Ricky Rubio.
Six, you have the option to either go Johnny Flynn or this one player. They go Johnny Flynn. Who goes seven? Stephen Curry. And they didn't draft him. You know why? Because they thought his game wouldn't translate to the league. But you already had Ricky Rubio, so why not reach on a pick? I mean, other
The
guys
fact
drafted after. You got DeMar DeRozan, Drew
they,
Holiday,
I mean, you
Ty
missed out on
Lawson.
Stephen Curry. I mean, that's probably the biggest miss out in modern history as far as anybody who didn't pick Steph Curry because Steph Curry is one of the most influential basketball players. I mean,
Ever.
ever. I
Yeah.
mean, if you could have any franchise player, like draft any franchise player, I think Steph Curry might
He's
be
at the
up
top.
there.
He's at the
He,
top.
he's really at the top, and only other people up there with him are like LeBron. And LeBron, nobody missed out on LeBron. I mean,
Yeah.
you could have gave your great grandma the first overall pick, and she would have picked LeBron.
Yeah.
Everybody,
I mean, bro, it's not even just they missed on Steph. They missed on DeMar, Drew Holiday, Ty Lawson, who was a good player
no,
in the
no.
league, Patrick
Frick the
Beverly.
Frick the DeRozan. They really picked because Johnny Flynn's a point guard. They picked two point guards
And they didn't
right in
pick
front of
Steph
Steph
Curry.
Curry. No, that is crazy. Because I mean, I was too young to really watch this draft, but I didn't realize they picked two point guards right in front of Curry.
Oh God, bro, it was
That
bad.
how do you pick? How do you have two draft picks in a row, and you have 2 point guards in mind, and Stephen Curry? I mean, I wasn't really watching basketball like that in the
I mean, bro,
Davison run,
we were really young.
but Davison, I mean, Davis and Steph Curry, you're gonna tell me
Yeah,
that's not gonna
because of
translate?
NBA size, but you pick up Johnny Flynn, who wasn't really that much bigger than Steph.
And Johnny Flynn he's frail. If you're listening, go look up a picture of this guy.
Yeah.
and put a comparison of him and Steph Curry, and then you see what Steph Curry could do shooting the basketball. I don't even want to talk about it. Let's just move on because that
Yeah.
gets me
All right.
upset. I'm not.
Um.
I'm gonna be upset. I'm
Yeah. It
not
was
even a
really bad.
Timberwolves fan.
We got to move on to the next number 4. Really terrible player as well. Like really just couldn't do anything. Dragon Bender type beat. But second overall pick in 2009, Hasheem Thabeet.
A shame to be.
2.2 points per game. LeVar Ball. 2.7 rebounds. 0.1 assists. Guys drafted after: James Harden, Steph Curry, DeMar DeRozan, Drew Holiday, Ty Lawson, Patrick Beverley, Patty Mills. Same draft. This guy's terrible. They just lost Pau Gasol in like a year or two ago because when they traded into the Lakers. So I guess they wanted to compensate for that and get Hasheem to beat. I mean, Marc Gasol was on the team, I believe. I mean, bro,
But
this guy
that,
was
I mean,
terrible.
he didn't even score. You could score in one shot more points than than his average game.
Bro, it's
With
like
one jump shot,
he had
you
2
could
more points than
outscore his
us.
entire average.
He had 2 more points than us right now. Come
We are
on, bro.
closer in points per game to him than he is to players with 5 points a game.
Exactly. Like he just wasn't good. He sucked. He was terrible. He didn't do anything good. I watched some of his, like there was a whole lowlights of him playing. It was terrible. He was so bad.
And who was picked after him? Give me who are the names after him?
Oh, right after they missed out on James Harden. They missed
Enough.
out and the
Oh,
same
these,
and the
this
same
it's
people in
really so
2009.
painful to hear this. Like I'm
Same exact people because it was the same draft as Johnny Flynn's draft. So same exact people. Like, bro, he was
James
so
Harden right
bad.
after.
He was so
Yeah.
bad.
Move on. Move on.
Yeah,
Move on.
Sheem beat terrible. Oh, this is even worse. It kind of. I mean, for them, we'll just get into it. Darko Milicic, second overall pick in 2003. You guys should know what draft 2003 was. 6 points per game, 4.2 rebounds, 0.9 assists. Guys drafted after: Carmelo Anthony, Chris Bosh, and Dwayne Wade.
Well, I mean, his name on that draft board is amongst LeBron James. Is amongst.
He's in the middle between LeBron and Melo and Bosh and Wade. Right in the middle.
He's
This
right in the
guy.
middle of. He's right in middle. He's right in the middle of a trio that literally the people thought broke the NBA.
Yeah.
Where they thought this is the craziest super team we've ever seen.
And one of the greatest scorers
And
of all time, Carmelo Anthony.
and then yeah, you throw Carmelo Anthony in there.
Bro.
And then you have this man. What was his points per game again?
6. And the only thing he had going for him was a decent mid-range shot. But it worked out in the Pistons' favor because he was so bad that they picked up Rasheed Wallace in the trade deadline, and that helped them win their championship in 2004. So kind of win lose.
Yeah, but
You get a championship for the price of just really terrible
that
Darko
early
Milicic.
Pistons team. Imagine if you threw one of those superstars
Like
on.
imagine you threw Melo, who was scoring at a very high rate in the in Denver, like pretty quickly.
You threw a Melo. You threw a young Melo. You threw a young Wade. You threw a young Bosh. These guys early in their career were Chris Bosh. I said Chris Bosh. Dwayne Wade won a championship only in 2006.
Yeah, like 2 years after 2004.
So
And it wasn't like he was the best player, like clearly in that series.
no, yeah, he was the franchise player for a NBA championship.
Yeah.
Only two NBA seasons after. So
Yeah, I mean, it was just really they're just really bad.
yeah, I think they know what they did wrong on that.
Yeah. Next, this is a really really funny one. Before I hope you guys can hear what I'm gonna try to play, and you guys will understand.
Did LA give up too much to get a guy who has been labeled soft, although he puts up
Stephen A.
19 and 9,
Smith.
which only 11 other guys.
I don't know if you could hear it, Jamal, but
Is that a
No,
trick
I
question?
can't.
You tell me.
They gave up Kwame Brown. Who
First
cares?
round.
I could care
Tied
less.
into his salary for 4
First
years.
of all,
We're gonna hear
understand
this little
something.
speech.
When you're giving up first-round picks, if you are a quality team in playoff contention, it really doesn't mean that much. That's number one. Number two, and more importantly, Kwame Brown is gone. The city of Vegas, Hollywood, just shouldn't be celebrated. Throw a parade already, whether you win a championship or not. This man was a bona fide scrub. He can't play. No.
Stephen A. Smith said it the best. Bonafide scrub, can't play. He was terrible. He just like, he was not good. I mean, first overall pick in 2001. There's that argument. He made that stupid argument. Oh, Michael Jordan ruined my career, this and that. Bro, you just couldn't play. You just weren't good.
Yeah, I mean, he had a little beef with Stephen A. Smith recently.
Yeah, he's been like calling out people. I respect that, but like, bro, he was saying, "Oh, I'm not a bust because I made my mom retire at right after that night."
Yeah, that's
Bro,
what makes you. That's what makes you. That is actually, by definition, what makes you a bust. Is that an NBA organization handed you a first overall pick contract, and what you did with it on the basketball court.
was nothing. He was terrible.
And when you watching his lowlights is probably like, if anybody has a little reaction YouTube channel and wants to do a try not to cringe video.
Yeah, it's
there's
either
some
that,
content idea.
it's either
for
that
you.
or Kendrick Perkins highlights.
I mean, Kwame just. I mean, it almost became funny. Like, you ever been to the court where it's like, this kid is whack, and everybody's kind of laughing at him, and you're kind of passing him the ball, trying to get him a bucket,
Yeah,
and like trying to feed it to him, but he just couldn't score if you paid him to.
Yeah, this is one of those kind of guys. Guys drafted after. I forgot to mention this. Tyson Chandler, former Defensive Player of the Year. Just know who you really missed out on. Pau Gasol,
Great Knicks
NBA
player.
legend. Jason Richardson was a good player. Gilbert Arenas, Richard Jefferson.
Gilbert
Joe
Arenas is one of the
Johnson.
reasons I wear number 0.
Yeah, Joe Johnson, Zach Randolph, and NBA
Joe
champion
Johnson.
and legend Tony Parker.
I mean, none of those. I mean, Tony Parker definitely wasn't getting that number 1 pick, but that was a very good draft class to have.
Tyson Chandler I believe got drafted out of high school same way Kwame did. They could have picked Tyson Chandler and been all right. Same thing with Pau Gasol.
It's sad. He's a sad case. I don't even want. I feel like Kwame. I feel like the reason he's a bust has been said over so many times.
Yeah,
that's just he was the number 1 overall. Being the number 1 overall pick, like, people sometimes don't understand how much that is. Like, think about it. You're an NBA team. You could take anybody in the entire world.
You pick that guy first.
Like, you have the pick of the litter for anybody who doesn't have an NBA contract. You could pick up.
Exactly.
And Kwame was the man Kwame was the man that year.
Yeah, the man with the plan, the man to mess up the whole team. But anyways,
mess up the entire organization.
Anyways, now we get to number 1, the
Number
worst draft bust of all time. The worst. We went over really bad ones, but this guy was terrible. Terrible. First overall pick in 2013. 4.4 points. 3.1 rebounds, 0.5 assists. Let's talk about the guys drafted after before we name him. Giannis Antetokounmpo, Victor Oladipo, C.J. McCollum, Steven Adams, Dennis Schroeder, Rudy Gobert, Tim Hardaway Jr. And this guy is Anthony Bennett.
Anthony Bennett. Now look, if you had 2K13 downloaded, you know Anthony Bennett very well. Because in 2K13... the way you got drafted, right, it was, they didn't have an elaborate high school like they have now where you play from high school. You used to play a showcase, a rookie showcase. You could score 90 points in that showcase. And I've done it before. You could score 80 points in that showcase, have a triple-double. When you go to draft night, the Cleveland Cavaliers are so stuck in their ways. No matter how many points you score, the first pick in that draft will be Anthony Bennett. Probably one of the worst.
You know what was even worse?
What?
He wasn't expected to go number 1. He was expected to go 10. 10. So, let's say he went 10. Who was number 2 that year? Victor Oladipo. You would have been set because he was a good player.
Victor Oladipo was great.
Yeah, and you
Victor
got
Oladipo
CJ
was
McCollum
great.
there, bro. You
Where did Victor Oladipo go? Indiana. He was great.
no, he went to Orlando first.
No. I meant that's where he went to college.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, bro.
He was great.
Yeah, Anthony Bennett was terrible. He
Yeah,
was
'cause
so
I
bad.
never understood why he was going first. I figured I was like, sometimes like I guess I just don't like, especially back in 2013. I wasn't on who was the highest recruits, so I kind of just took their word for it.
Well, the
But I
one
guess
thing
he had to
was,
show me.
yeah,
But
I saw the mock drafts when I was younger, and then like all the mock drafts had him like I believe 10 through 14. And then when he went 1, I was so confused.
what did he even have? What was he even good at? He was like he was
So
he
his
was
thing
like a
was
he was like a Zach Randolph.
no, his thing was shooting. He was a big guy who could shoot and kind of score.
Yeah,
And so they were
not really a
thinking,
Zach
oh,
Randolph.
let's pair
Julius
Kyrie up with this
Randolph.
guy. Bro, he got to the league. I forgot when he scored. I think it took him a while. It took him a while to score, like a couple games.
Yeah, he was bad. I mean, because
Yeah, he was out of shape. He couldn't do anything.
he didn't look like a number one draft pick.
Bro, he was fat. He
He's
came into the
probably
league out of shape.
he was. I think he's like the only number one pick to be in the G League or something stupid like that.
Bro, he's out of the league. It's only been so 2013. He was out of the league in 2017. 4 years. I don't think any draft like bro. Kwame Brown was in the league for a while.
Because he didn't even have talent.
Bro, he couldn't do anything. He was just there to take up space.
He-
He just
the
sat
fact
at the
that
3-point line and hoped to get the ball and make it. Hopefully.
the organization that picked this man number one overall, LeBron, decided to come and get it and bless that
Yeah.
organization with a championship.
As soon as LeBron came, Anthony Bennett was out.
Yeah, they were like, all right, enough. We're gonna have to clean up our act.
Yeah, he had to leave because he wasn't doing anything with LeBron. LeBron was gonna
I guess.
chew him out.
Yeah, LeBron James, Anthony Bennett. You know what they have in common? They were
What?
both first overall draft picks
Yeah.
by the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Yeah, and
And they don't. And that sounds like comparing a boy to a child. Like,
and one of them, the difference is one of them is one of the greatest players of all time, and Anthony Bennett probably works at McDonald's right now. It's trash bag, bro. He was terrible. I couldn't watch a game of him. I
10
watched
years
him
apart,
live.
they both have 10 years apart. They were drafted exactly 10 years apart, same team, same pick, and a number one pick could. It's really crazy when you think about it. A number one overall pick, like the value of it,
Yeah.
could be the value of LeBron.
Could
Literally,
either change your
LeBron
team or
James.
mess up your team.
It could literally be LeBron James, like the greatest player other than Michael Jordan to ever play, or it could be Anthony Bennett, a man who, if he went to the YMCA and there was other people, or if he went to the YMCA and there was other people his height, based on like his physical definition and like how he looks as a basketball player, without the fact that he's way taller than the average person, I would probably pick him up like third on my team.
That's messed
I
up,
picked
bro.
up people. I've passed on people that look exactly like Anthony Bennett that just weren't his height.
I have a funny story actually. I actually went to the Brooklyn Nets game, one of his last games in the league. You know how many points he had?
How many?
He went off the first quarter. He had 4 points, didn't score the rest of the game.
You saw 4 points. You're one of the rare people who have seen Anthony Bennett score 4 points in a basketball game.
Bro, that's so rare. Like this man got his career high in one quarter.
Stub. I hope you kept that ticket stub.
And I got like I remember they gave us like Dražan Petrovic posters. I think I still have in my closet.
Dude, you should just check eBay now. Those might be worth. Anthony Bennett, 4+ point game.
Oh man,
that's a rare collectibles item. You heard it here first, guys. So if you're trying to get some NBA history, hit up Bolton.
Just hit up my eBay. Look on my eBay. But anyways, that's it for the episode. One of our best episodes ever.
This was fun.
Yeah, we hit the 50-minute mark. Sheesh.
This is a fun podcast.
Yeah.
This is fun.
Yeah, we're gonna see more of Jamal on here.
Yeah.
check out
And
his
more special
socials.
guests coming soon
Yes,
because
sir.
I guess I'm not so
We got
special anymore. So we
Let's
got to
keep it
keep it.
quiet. Let's keep it quiet.
We got to keep it. We're not going to say who, but we're just going to let them know there's people
Yeah,
coming.
sir. And we're gonna end it off for today. See you guys Wednesday. Peace.